The sky above Earth crackled with energy as a fleet of massive starships pierced the atmosphere. Their obsidian hulls gleamed in the fading sunlight, casting long shadows over the ruins of what was once a sprawling metropolis. The ships belonging to the Zarkonian Empire had come with a single purpose: to crush the last remnants of human resistance. Commander Vexthor stood at the helm of the lead ship, his 4 eyes narrowing as he surveyed the desolate landscape below. He had conquered countless worlds, but something about this planet made his scales itch with unease. Earth had been bombarded for years, its cities reduced to rubble, its population decimated. Yet still, reports of human resistance trickled in, defying all logic. "Status report," Vexthor growled, his mandibles clicking in irritation. His second in command, Zira, stepped forward, her sleek exoskeleton reflecting the dim light of the bridge. "All systems operational, Commander. No signs of active defense systems or energy signatures. The planet appears to be as dead as our intel suggested." Vexthor nodded, but the unease persisted. "Prepare the landing parties. I want a full sweep of the target areas. Leave no stone unturned, no hiding place unexplored. These humans have proven more resilient than expected. We will not underestimate them again." As the ships descended, their massive forms casting shadows over the ruined cityscape, dropships detached from their hulls. Each carried squads of Zarkonian executioners, the elite of their military force. Clad in adaptive armor that shimmered with an oily iridescence, they were walking arsenals, each soldier equipped with weaponry capable of leveling city blocks. The first dropship touched down in what once might have been a central plaza. As the ramp lowered, squad leader Krelax emerged, his sensors immediately scanning the area. The air was thick with dust and the acrid smell of decay. Broken structures loomed on all sides, their jagged edges reaching toward the sky like accusing fingers. "Fan out," Krelax ordered, his voice distorted by the helmet's comm system. "Standard search pattern. Report any anomalies immediately." The squad moved with practiced precision, their heavy footfalls echoing in the eerie silence. As they advanced, Krelax couldn't shake the feeling that they were being watched. He'd been on hundreds of missions across the galaxy, but never had he encountered a silence quite like this. It was as if the very air was holding its breath, waiting. Hours passed as the Zarkonian forces methodically swept through the ruins. Dropship after dropship landed, disgorging more troops into the sprawling maze of destroyed buildings and overgrown streets. Yet as the sun began to set, casting long shadows across the desolate landscape, not a single trace of human activity had been found. Back on the command ship, Vexthor paced restlessly. Nothing. He snarled at the holographic display of Zira. An entire day of searching and not so much as a footprint. Zira's image flickered slightly as she responded. "Negative, Commander. Our forces have covered over 60% of the designated search area. No signs of recent human activity, no hidden bunkers, no stockpiles of supplies. It's as if they simply vanished." Vexthor slammed a clawed fist onto the nearby console, causing subordinates to flinch. "Impossible. Our intelligence was clear. This was to be their last stronghold, their final bastion. They can't have just disappeared." As night fell, the search continued. The Zarkonian troops activated their night vision, bathing the ruins in an eerie green glow. Krelax's squad had pushed deep into what once might have been a residential area. Collapsed homes and overturned vehicles littered the cracked streets. Squad leader, one of his troops, called out, "I'm picking up an anomaly. Faint energy signature, about 2 clicks northeast." Krelax's pulse quickened. Finally, a lead. "Report it to command. We're moving to investigate." As the squad advanced toward the energy signature, the silence seemed to deepen. The usual nighttime sounds one might expect on a living planet, insects, wind, the rustle of vegetation, were conspicuously absent. It was as if they were moving through a void. Suddenly, Krelax's sensors blared a warning. The energy signature had spiked, now pulsing with an intensity that made his equipment struggle to compensate. "Weapons hot," he barked, raising his own rifle. The squad formed a defensive circle, each soldier scanning a different direction. The pulse was growing stronger, more erratic. Krelax opened a channel to the command ship. "This is Squad Leader Krelax. We've encountered an unknown energy phenomenon, requesting immediate backup and..." His words were cut short as a blinding flash erupted from the center of their formation. Krelax was thrown backwards, his armor smoking from the intense heat. As he struggled to his feet, his vision clearing, he saw something that made his blood run cold. Standing in the midst of his fallen squad was a figure, humanoid in shape, but unlike any human Krelax had ever encountered. It stood well over 2 meters tall, its form shrouded in what looked like tattered robes that seemed to absorb the light around them. Where its face should have been, there was only darkness, 2 pinpricks of white light serving as eyes. Krelax raised his weapon, but before he could fire, the figure moved. In a blur of motion faster than his enhanced reflexes could track, it was upon him. A hand, pale as moonlight and cold as the void of space, gripped his throat. Krelax felt his strength ebbing, his very life force being drained away. As darkness crept into the edges of his vision, Krelax heard a voice, not with his ears, but in his mind. It was ancient, carrying the weight of eons, and it spoke a single word: "Leave." Back on the command ship, alarms blared as Krelax's vital signs flatlined. Vexthor watched in disbelief as, one by one, the signals from the entire squad winked out. "What in the name of the eternal void is happening down there?" he roared. Zura's voice was tight with tension as she responded, "Unknown, Commander. We've lost all contact with Squad 7. Their last transmission mentioned an energy anomaly, but then, nothing." Vexthor's mind raced. This was no normal resistance. This was something else entirely. For the first time in his long career of conquest, he felt a flicker of fear. "Recall all ground troops immediately," he ordered. "Prepare the ships for orbital bombardment. Whatever this is, we'll burn it from orbit if we have to." As the order went out, dropships began to lift off from various points across the ruined city. But not all of them made it back to the safety of the motherships. Reports flooded in of more encounters with the mysterious figure. Entire squads going dark in seconds, their last transmissions filled with terror. In the growing chaos, no one noticed a small, nondescript vessel detaching from the underside of one of the massive Zarkonian ships. It streaked towards the planet's surface, its stealth systems ensuring it remained undetected. As dawn broke over the horizon, casting a blood-red light across the devastated landscape, Vexthor stared at the tactical display with a mixture of rage and disbelief. Nearly a third of his ground forces had been lost, with no explanation beyond garbled transmissions about a dark figure that moved like death itself. "Commander," Zyra's voice cut through his thoughts. "Long-range scanners are picking up multiple energy signatures. They're coming from all over the planet." Vexthor watched in stunned silence as points of light began to appear on the global map. Hundreds, then thousands, then millions of energy signatures, all pulsing in unison. The dead planet was coming alive. As the Zarkonian fleet hung in the sky, uncertain and afraid for the first time, a transmission cut through their communications. A human voice, calm and resolute, spoke. "You came to our world bringing death, but death was already here, and it stands with humanity. This is your final warning. Leave Earth or face extinction." The message ended, leaving only static. Vexthor, the conqueror of 1,000 worlds, felt a chill run down his spine. They had come to Earth expecting easy victory. Instead, they had awakened something ancient, something powerful. And as the energy signatures on the planet below continued to multiply, Vexthor realized with growing dread that the real battle for Earth was only just beginning. The Zarkonian fleet hung in low orbit, a collection of obsidian daggers against the pale blue of Earth's sky. On the bridge of the flagship, Commander Vexthor's claws clicked nervously against the arm of his command chair. The events of the past day had shaken him to his core, but he refused to show weakness in front of his crew. "Status report," he barked, his 4 eyes scanning the holographic displays surrounding him. Zira, his second in command, stepped forward. Her usually composed demeanor was marred by a slight twitch in her left mandible. "Commander, we've successfully recalled 68% of our ground forces. The rest," she hesitated, her exoskeleton shifting uncomfortably. "The rest are unaccounted for." Vexthor's inner eyelids flickered in agitation, and the energy signatures. "Still present, sir. They've stabilized, but they cover nearly 70% of the planet's surface. Our sensors can't penetrate them." The commander rose from his chair, moving to the main view screen. The image of Earth filled the display, its surface now dotted with pulsing points of light. What had seemed like a dead world just hours ago now teemed with an energy that defied their most advanced technology. "What of the figure?" Vexthor asked, his voice low. Zira pulled up a series of grainy images captured from the helmet cams of fallen soldiers. Each showed a different angle of the same entity. Tall, shrouded in darkness, with eyes that seemed to burn through the very soul. "We've compiled all available data," Zira reported. "The entity appears to be humanoid, but its capabilities far exceed any known human limits. It can move faster than our tracking systems, and it seems to be able to drain the life force from our troops on contact." Vexthor's mandibles clicked in frustration. Impossible. The humans were a primitive species. They had no defenses against our initial assault. This thing cannot be of their making. As if in response to his words, the ship's communication system crackled to life. A voice, neither male nor female, filled the bridge. "Zarkonian aggressors, you have been warned. Earth is not yours to take. Leave now, or face the consequences of your arrogance." The message ended as abruptly as it had begun, leaving a stunned silence in its wake. Vexthor's mind raced. Their intelligence had been clear. Earth was supposed to be an easy conquest, a planet brought to its knees by years of bombardment. Instead, they faced an enemy they couldn't understand, let alone fight. "Prepare a scouting party," he ordered, his voice tight with suppressed rage. "I want boots on the ground within the hour. We need answers, and we need them now." As the orders were relayed, activity on the ship intensified. In the hangar bay, a specially equipped dropship was being prepared. Unlike the standard troop carriers, this vessel was designed for stealth and reconnaissance. Squad leader Tarkish, a veteran of countless campaigns, stood before his hand-picked team. Each soldier was equipped with the latest in Zarkonian battle technology: adaptive camouflage, energy shields, and weapons capable of vaporizing targets at the molecular level. "Listen up," Tarkish growled, his scared face a testament to years of combat. "This is unlike any mission we've faced before. Our primary objective is intelligence gathering. Engage only if absolutely necessary. If you encounter the entity..." He paused, his gaze sweeping over his team. "Retreat immediately. No heroics." "Understood." A chorus of affirmatives answered him. As they boarded the dropship, Tarkish couldn't shake the feeling that they were walking into something far beyond their understanding. The descent to Earth was tense. As they broke through the cloud cover, the ruined cityscape came into view. The dropship's cloaking technology engaged, rendering it invisible to all but the most advanced detection systems. They touched down in what appeared to be an abandoned industrial zone. As the ramp lowered, Tarkish activated his suit's environmental sensors. The air was thick with dust and the acrid smell of decay. But there was something else, an undercurrent of energy that made his scales tingle. "Fan out," he ordered. "Standard search pattern. Report any anomalies immediately." The squad moved with practiced precision, their footsteps eerily silent thanks to sound-dampening technology. As they advanced deeper into the ruins, the feeling of being watched intensified. Suddenly, One of the soldiers held up a hand, signaling the team to halt. "Sir," he whispered over the comm, "I'm picking up movement, 200 meters northeast." Tarkish's pulse quickened. Visual confirmation. "Negative. Sir, whatever it is, it's staying just out of visual range." The squad leader made a quick decision. "We'll investigate. Weapons hot, but do not fire unless I give the order." As they moved toward the source of the movement, the air seemed to thicken. Shadows deepened, and the ever-present hum of energy grew stronger. Tarkish's sensors were going haywire, unable to make sense of the readings they were receiving. They rounded a corner, entering what might have once been a large warehouse. And there, in the center of the room, stood a figure. It was human, or at least human-shaped. But as Tarkish's eyes adjusted to the gloom, he realized that this was no ordinary survivor. The figure stood unnaturally still, its form shrouded in what looked like tattered robes that seemed to absorb the light around them. Where its face should have been, there was only darkness, save for 2 pinpricks of white light serving as eyes. "Hold position," Tarkash ordered, his voice barely above a whisper. He took a step forward, his weapon raised. "Identify yourself." The figure remained motionless for a long moment. Then, with a speed that defied belief, it was suddenly directly in front of Tarkash. The squad leader stumbled backward, his finger tightening on the trigger of his weapon. But before he could fire, a voice filled his mind. "You do not belong here." The words carried the weight of eons, filled with a power that made Tarkish's very soul tremble. He tried to speak, to give the order to fire, but found himself paralyzed. The figure raised a hand, pale as moonlight, and seeming to radiate cold. As it reached toward Tarkish, the squad leader felt his life force begin to ebb. In that moment, panic overtook training. One of the soldiers opened fire, a stream of energy bolts tearing through the air toward the figure. But the entity moved with impossible speed. One moment it was in front of Tarkish, the next it was among the squad, moving like a shadow given life. Soldiers fell, their life energy drained in mere seconds. Tarkish, freed from the paralysis, shouted into his comm, "Retreat. Fall back to the ship." As the surviving members of the squad fled, Tarkish risked a glance back. The figure stood amid the fallen Zarkonians, its gaze fixed on the retreating soldiers. And in that moment, Tarkish understood. This wasn't just some powerful being. This was death itself, awakened to defend its domain. The journey back to the dropship was a blur of terror and adrenaline. As they lifted off, Tarkish could have sworn he saw other figures emerging from the ruins, all shrouded in darkness, all with those same piercing white eyes. On the command ship, Vexthor listened to Tarkish's report with growing dread. The scout team had been decimated, and the footage from their helmet cams showed an enemy that seemed to defy the laws of physics. "It's not possible," Zyra muttered, her usual composure shattered. No species could have evolved to possess such abilities. Vexthor's mind raced. They had come to Earth expecting an easy conquest, a chance to add another world to the Zarkonian Empire. Instead, they faced an enemy that seemed to embody death itself. As he pondered their next move, the ship's systems suddenly went haywire. Alarms blared, and the main view screen flickered to life. The image that appeared made even Vexthor's battle-hardened heart skip a beat. It showed the surface of Earth, but not as they had seen it before. The ruined cities were gone, replaced by sprawling metropolises that seemed to blend seamlessly with the natural landscape. And everywhere, there were humans. Not the broken, scattered survivors they had expected, but a thriving civilization that pulsed with an energy that defied comprehension. A voice, the same one that had warned them before, filled the bridge. "You see now the truth of Earth. We are not your prey. We are not your conquest. We are humanity, and we stand with death as our ally. This is your final warning. Leave or face extinction." The image faded, leaving the bridge in stunned silence. Vexthor, the conqueror of 1,000 worlds, felt true fear for the first time in his long life. He turned to Zira, his voice barely above a whisper. "Prepare the fleet for immediate departure. We're leaving." As the Zarkonian ships began to pull away from Earth's orbit, a small nondescript vessel detached from the underside of one of the massive warships. It streaked towards the planet's surface, its stealth systems ensuring it remained undetected. Aboard that small ship, a figure smiled. The first phase of humanity's plan had worked perfectly. The Zarkonians had been driven away, believing they faced a power beyond their comprehension. Little did they know that the true power of humanity was not in mythical beings or supernatural abilities, but in their ingenuity, their ability to adapt, and their unwavering determination to survive. As Earth faded from view, Vex Thor stared at the view screen, his mind grappling with what they had encountered. They had come seeking easy conquest, and instead found a world protected by forces they couldn't begin to understand. The Zarkonian fleet disappeared into the depths of space, leaving behind a planet that pulsed with life and energy. And on that planet, humanity emerged from their hidden cities, ready to rebuild and prepare for whatever challenges the universe might throw at them next. For they had faced death itself and emerged victorious. And in doing so, they had sent a message to the galaxy. Earth was not to be trifled with. Humanity stood ready, with death as their ally and the indomitable human spirit as their greatest weapon. As the Zarkonian fleet retreated into the depths of space, Earth's true defenders began to emerge from their hidden sanctuaries. In a bunker deep beneath the ruins of what was once New York City, General Sarah Connor stood before a holographic display of the planet. Dots of light representing their advanced sensor network blinked steadily, a testament to humanity's resilience and ingenuity. "Status report," she commanded, her voice carrying the weight of years of struggle and sacrifice. A young technician, his face illuminated by the glow of multiple screens, responded without looking up. "The alien fleet has cleared the solar system, General. Our long-range sensors show they're on a direct course back to Zarkonian space." Sarah allowed herself a small smile. "And our friend?" As if on cue, a figure materialized from the shadows at the edge of the room. To the untrained eye, it might have seemed like a trick of the light, but Sarah knew better. This was humanity's greatest weapon, their trump card in a war that had nearly wiped them from existence. The figure stepped into the light, revealing a tall, lean form wrapped in what looked like tattered robes. Where a face should have been, there was only darkness, save for two pinpricks of white light serving as eyes. This was the being the Zarkonians had mistaken for death itself. The deception was successful. The figure spoke, its voice resonating in their minds rather than their ears. The Zarkonians believe Earth to be under the protection of forces beyond their comprehension. Sarah nodded, her expression grim. "Good work, Shade. But we can't rest easy yet. They'll be back, and next time, they'll come prepared." Shade, as the figure was known, inclined its head in agreement. Indeed, the Zarkonians are not known for their forgiveness or their willingness to leave a conquest unfinished. The general turned back to the holographic display, her eyes scanning the glowing points that represented Earth's remaining population centers. After years of bombardment and invasion attempts, humanity had been forced underground, quite literally. Vast subterranean cities now house what remained of Earth's people, hidden from the prying eyes of alien aggressors. "We need to prepare," Sarah declared. "The Zarkonians gave us a gift: time. We must use it wisely." As if to underscore her words, alarms suddenly blared throughout the bunker. The technician's fingers flew over his keyboard, his eyes widening in surprise. "General, we're detecting a small craft, Zarkonian in origin. It seems to have detached from one of their ships just before they left orbit." Sarah's expression hardened. "Location: it's touched down in Sector 7, the old industrial district." The general's mind raced. This was unexpected, but not entirely surprising. The Zarkonians were nothing if not thorough. "Shade," she said, turning to the enigmatic figure, "I need you to investigate. But be cautious. This could be a trap. Shade nodded, its form already beginning to fade into the shadows. I will be discreet. The hunt begins. As Shade disappeared, Sarah turned to her team. I want all nearby units on high alert. If this is a scouting party, we need to know what they're after. And if it's something more, we need to be ready. In the ruins of the old industrial district, a small Zarkonian craft lay hidden among the debris of fallen buildings. Its stealth systems, while advanced, were no match for Earth's new sensor network. But the occupants of the craft were unaware of this fact. Inside, 3 Zarkonian soldiers huddled around a holographic display. Their mission was clear: gather intelligence on the mysterious force that had driven away their fleet. The Empire would not accept defeat so easily, especially not at the hands of a supposedly primitive species. The energy readings are off the charts, one soldier muttered, his mandibles clicking in agitation. Whatever these humans have harnessed, it's like nothing we've ever encountered. The leader of the group, a grizzled veteran named Krelvax, growled in frustration. We need more than readings. We need visual confirmation, physical evidence. The Empire won't commit resources based on sensor data alone. As they debated their next move, none of them noticed the shadow that seemed to deepen near the rear of the craft. Shade, having located the intruders, observed silently. Its mind reached out, probing the aliens' thoughts, gleaning information about their mission and their capabilities. Suddenly, one of the Zarkonians stiffened, his eyes widening in alarm. Did you feel that? He whispered, his hand moving to his weapon. Krelvax turned, his own senses on high alert. Feel what? Like something was in my head. Just for a moment. The leader's expression darkened. It's here, he hissed. The entity. Prepare yourselves. But they were too late. Shade, realizing its presence had been detected, decided to act. In a blur of motion, it materialized fully in the center of the craft. The Zarkonians, despite their training and advanced weaponry, found themselves frozen in place, unable to move or speak. Shade's voice echoed in their minds, a sound like the whisper of wind through ancient tombs. You were warned. Earth is not yours to take. Your presence here is a violation of that warning. Krelvax, through sheer force of will, managed to speak. What? What are you? The being's response was cryptic. I am what humanity needed me to be. I am their shield, their sword, their vengeance against those who would seek to destroy them. As Shade spoke, tendrils of darkness seemed to extend from its form, wrapping around the Zarkonians. They felt their strength ebbing, their very life force being drained away. But just before consciousness faded, the tendrils retreated. You will return to your empire, Shade commanded. You will tell them of what you've seen, of the power that protects this world. Let your fear be a warning to all who would threaten Earth. With that, Shade vanished, leaving the Zarkonians gasping and trembling. Krelvax, his usual bravado shattered, gave the order to retreat. As their craft lifted off, heading back to the distant Zarkonian Empire, they carried with them a message of terror that would shake their civilization to its core. Back in the underground bunker, Sarah received Shade's report with a mixture of relief and concern. You let them go, she said, her tone neutral. Shade nodded. Their fear will serve us better than their deaths. The Zarkonians will return, but they will do so cautiously, fearfully. It will give us the time we need. The general sighed, running a hand through her graying hair. I hope you're right. Because if they come back in force, even with our advancements, I'm not sure we can hold them off. As if in response to her words, a young scientist burst into the room, his eyes wide with excitement. General Connor, we've had a breakthrough. Sarah turned, her eyebrow raised. Go on, Dr. Chen. The scientist could barely contain his enthusiasm. The Zarkonian technology we salvaged from their previous attacks. We've finally cracked it. We can replicate their energy weapons, maybe even their shielding technology. For the first time in years, Sarah felt a glimmer of true hope. She turned to Shade, a small smile playing on her lips. "Well, my friend, it seems the hunt isn't over yet. But this time, we might just be the predators instead of the prey." Shade's form seemed to ripple, as if in agreement. Indeed, the true battle for Earth's future is only beginning. As word of the breakthrough spread through the underground cities, a new energy seemed to pulse through the remnants of humanity. For years, they had been on the defensive, hiding and surviving. But now, with advanced alien technology at their fingertips and a powerful, mysterious ally by their side, they could finally start to fight back. In labs deep beneath the surface, scientists and engineers worked tirelessly to integrate the Zarkonian technology with their own advancements. Weapons that could pierce the strongest alien armor, shields that could withstand orbital bombardment, and propulsion systems that could take humanity to the stars. All were within reach. Sarah stood in the main research facility, watching as prototypes were tested and refined. Beside her, Shade observed silently, its presence a constant reminder of the strange alliance that had formed in humanity's darkest hour. "You know," Sarah said, her voice low, "there are still those who fear you, who wonder if we've made a deal with a force we don't understand." Shade turned its gaze to her, those pinpricks of white light seeming to peer into her very soul. Fear is natural when faced with the unknown, but it is also a powerful motivator. Humanity's fear of extinction drove you to create me, to push the boundaries of science and the human mind itself. Sarah nodded, remembering the desperate experiments, the melding of advanced technology with the untapped potential of the human psyche. Shade was the result. A being of pure psychic energy, capable of manipulating matter and energy in ways that seemed like magic to most. "And what of your own motivations?" she asked, not for the first time. "You fight for us, protect us, but why?" Shade was silent for a long moment before responding. "I am of humanity, created by humanity. Your survival is my purpose, your potential my driving force. In saving you, I save myself." As they spoke, alarms suddenly blared throughout the facility. Sarah rushed to the nearest console, her heart racing. "Report." A technician's voice came through, tense and urgent. "General, we're detecting multiple objects entering the solar system. They're not Zarkonian." Sarah's blood ran cold. A new threat. Unknown, Nam. But they're on a direct course for Earth. The general straightened, her jaw set in determination. She turned to Shade, seeing her own resolve mirrored in those otherworldly eyes. "Well, my friend, it seems the universe isn't done testing us yet." Shade's form seemed to grow, darkness spreading around it like wings. "Then let us show the universe that humanity is ready for whatever challenges it may bring." As the unknown objects hurtled toward Earth, humanity prepared for yet another fight for survival. But this time, they were not alone. With advanced technology at their disposal and a being of immense power by their side, they stood ready to face whatever the cosmos might throw at them. The hunt had indeed begun, but the hunters and the hunted were no longer so clearly defined. In the vast arena of space, Earth was about to make its stand, not just as a planet to be conquered, but as a force to be reckoned with. And as the first signs of the approaching objects began to appear in Earth's skies, a message was broadcast across the planet, a rallying cry for all of humanity. "We are not afraid. We are not defeated. We are humanity, and we will prevail." The skies above Earth shimmered with an eerie, otherworldly light as the unknown objects entered the atmosphere. In the command center deep beneath the ruins of New York, General Sarah Connor stood before a holographic display, her eyes narrowed in concentration. Around her, a team of Earth's brightest minds worked feverishly to analyze the incoming data. "What are we looking at, people?" Sarah demanded, her voice cutting through the tension-filled air. Dr. Chen, the young scientist who had cracked the Zarkonian technology, stepped forward. "They're ships, General, but unlike anything we've seen before. Not Zarkonian, not any known alien species in our database." Sarah's jaw tightened. "Hostile." "Unknown," Chen replied, his fingers dancing across a holographic keyboard. They haven't made any aggressive moves yet, but they're not responding to our hails either. As if on cue, Shade materialized beside Sarah, its dark form a stark contrast to the brightly lit command center. "I sense curiosity," the enigmatic being said, its voice echoing in their minds. "These visitors are not here to conquer. At least, not yet." Sarah nodded, years of hard-earned caution warring with a glimmer of hope. "Can you make contact?" Shade's form rippled, those pinpricks of white light that served as eyes seeming to intensify. "I can try." As Shade's consciousness reached out towards the alien ships, the command center fell into an eerie silence. Seconds stretched into minutes, the tension palpable as everyone waited for a response. Suddenly, the main screen flickered to life. The image that appeared made even the battle-hardened General Connor take a step back in surprise. The beings on the screen were unlike anything humanity had encountered. Their bodies seemed to be composed of pure energy, shifting and swirling in complex patterns. Where faces should have been, there were intricate geometric shapes that pulsed with light. One of the beings moved forward, its form coalescing into a more humanoid shape. When it spoke, the words appeared in everyone's minds, much like Shade's communication. "Greetings, children of Earth," the being said, its mental voice carrying a warmth that belied its alien nature. "We are the Luminary. We have traveled far, drawn by the echoes of your struggle and the whispers of your potential." Sarah stepped forward, her voice steady despite the otherworldly nature of their visitors. "I am General Sarah Connor, representative of Earth. What is your purpose here?" The luminary being's form shimmered, geometric patterns shifting in what might have been amusement. "Purpose? We are explorers, seekers of knowledge and growth. We have watched your world from afar, seen your battles against those who would conquer you. Your resilience intrigues us." Shade moved to stand beside Sarah, its dark form a stark contrast to the luminous aliens. "You speak of our potential," it said, addressing the luminary directly. "What do you mean?" The alien's response was immediate and startling. "You, creature of shadow and thought, are proof of that potential. A melding of mind and energy, of the physical and the metaphysical. It is a step towards a transformation that few species ever achieve." Sarah's mind raced, years of fighting for survival making her wary of this unexpected praise. "And what interest do you have in our transformation?" The luminary's form pulsed, geometric patterns swirling faster. "We offer knowledge guidance. The universe is vast and filled with wonders beyond your imagination. But it is also fraught with dangers. The Zarkonians are but one of many who would see your world as a prize to be taken." As if summoned by the alien's words, alarms suddenly blared throughout the command center. Dr. Chen's fingers flew over his console, his eyes widening in alarm. "General, multiple hyperspace signatures detected. It's the Zarkonians. They're back and in force." Sarah's expression hardened. She turned back to the luminary, her voice tight with urgency. "It seems we have little time for diplomacy. If you truly wish to help us, now would be the moment." The luminary being's form seemed to expand, filling the screen with swirling patterns of light. "We will not fight your battles for you, children of Earth, but we will give you the means to fight them yourselves." Before Sarah could respond, a beam of pure energy shot from the luminary ships, engulfing Earth's defensive satellites. For a moment, the entire planet seemed to glow with an otherworldly light. In the command center, screens lit up with new data. Dr. Chen gasped in amazement. "General, our systems, they're evolving, integrating with technology far beyond our understanding. Our weapons, our shields, their magnitudes more powerful than before." Sarah turned to Shade, a grim smile on her face. "Well, my friend, it seems the tables have finally turned. Are you ready to show the Zarkonians what humanity is truly capable of?" Shade's form seemed to grow, darkness spreading like wings. "I was born ready, General. Let us bring the fight to them." As the Zarkonian fleet emerged from hyperspace, they expected to find a weakened Earth, ripe for conquest. What they encountered instead would become the stuff of galactic legend. Earth's new defensive grid sprang to life, a web of energy that encased the entire planet. Zarkonian weapons, powerful enough to shatter moons, dissipated harmlessly against the shield. From the surface, humanity's own weapons responded. Beams of energy, guided by Shade's vast psychic powers, struck with pinpoint accuracy. Zarkonian ships, once thought invincible, began to fall from the sky. In the command center, Sarah watched the battle unfold with a mixture of awe and grim satisfaction. "Launch the fighters," she ordered, her voice steady. Across the planet, hidden hangars opened. Squadrons of fighters, reverse-engineered from salvage Zarkonian technology and enhanced by luminary knowledge, took to the skies. At their helm was a new generation of pilots, their minds linked directly to their craft through interfaces inspired by Shade's abilities. The space above Earth became a dazzling display of light and energy as human fighters engaged the Zarkonian fleet. The aliens, caught off guard by Earth's sudden technological leap, found themselves outmaneuvered at every turn. Aboard the Zarkonian flagship, Commander Vexthor watched in disbelief as his mighty armada was decimated by the very prey they had come to hunt. "Impossible," he muttered, his mandibles clicking in agitation. How could they have advanced so quickly? As if in answer to his question, a dark shape materialized on the bridge of his ship. Vexthor found himself face to face with the entity that had haunted his nightmares since their last encounter. Shade's voice filled the minds of every Zarkonian on the ship. "You were warned. Earth is not your conquest. It is your reckoning." Before Vexthor could respond, tendrils of darkness shot out from Shade's form, wrapping around the alien commander. In that moment, Vexthor saw visions of Earth's history, of humanity's struggles and triumphs. He saw the creation of Shade, the melding of human consciousness with pure energy, and he saw the future, a humanity that had taken its place among the stars, a force of creativity and innovation that would reshape the galaxy. As the visions faded, Vexthor found himself on his knees, his mighty will broken. We surrender," he gasped. Shade's form loomed over him, those pinpricks of white light seeming to peer into his very soul. "Your surrender is accepted. But know this, if you or any of your kind ever threaten Earth again, there will be no mercy." With that, Shade vanished, leaving the defeated commander to watch as the remnants of his once mighty fleet retreated into the depths of space. Back on Earth, celebrations erupted across the planet as news of the victory spread. In the command center, Sarah allowed herself a moment of pure joy, embracing Dr. Chen and the other members of her team. The luminary, who had observed the battle without interfering, re-established contact. "You have proven yourselves worthy, children of Earth," the alien said, its mental voice filled with what might have been pride. "The path before you is long, but you have taken the first steps towards joining the galactic community." Sarah straightened, her expression a mixture of gratitude and determination. "We thank you for your help," she said. "But what happens now?" The luminary's form shimmered, geometric patterns shifting in complex ways. "Now you grow. You learn. You explore. The universe is vast, filled with wonders and dangers alike. We will guide you, but the journey is yours to make." As the luminary ships prepared to depart, leaving behind databases filled with knowledge beyond human understanding, Sarah turned to Shade. The being that had once been humanity's last, desperate hope now stood as a symbol of their potential. "Well, my friend," Sarah said, a hint of wonder in her voice, "it seems our hunt has led us to unexpected places." Shade's form seemed to ripple with what might have been amusement. "The hunt is never truly over, Sarah. It merely changes form. Yesterday, we were the prey. Today, we became the predators. Tomorrow, we become explorers." As night fell over a planet forever changed, humanity looked to the stars with new eyes. The threat of extinction had been averted, replaced by the promise of a future limited only by their imagination. In labs and workshops across the globe, scientists and engineers pored over the luminary databases, unlocking secrets that would propel humanity into a new age. The first truly human-made starships were already being designed, incorporating the best of Zarkonian technology, luminary wisdom, and human innovation. And at the heart of it all was Shade, the being born of humanity's desperation that now stood as a bridge between the physical and the metaphysical. Its powers, once feared, became a catalyst for growth and understanding. As dawn broke on a new era, Sarah stood atop the ruins of the old world, Shade by her side. The sky above was no longer a barrier, but an invitation. The hunt that had begun with humanity, as prey had transformed them into something new. Not quite predator, not quite explorer, but a unique blend of both. "Ready for our next adventure?" Sarah asked, a glint of excitement in her eyes. Shade's form seemed to expand, as if embracing the possibilities that lay before them. "Always, Sarah. The universe awaits." And with that, humanity took its first true steps into the cosmic arena, no longer fighting just to survive, but striving to thrive among the stars. 5 years had passed since the day Earth repelled the Zarkonian invasion and made first contact with the luminary. The planet, once a battlefield, had transformed into a bustling hub of interstellar activity. Gleaming spires of newly built cities stretched towards the sky, their architecture a blend of human ingenuity and alien inspiration. In orbit, the first of Earth's deep space exploration vessels, the ESS Horizon, prepared for its maiden voyage. Its sleek design incorporated the best of human innovation, Zarkonian technology, and luminary wisdom. At its heart was a new form of propulsion, one that would allow humanity to traverse the vast distances between stars in near days. On the bridge of the horizon, Captain Elena Rodriguez stood before the main viewport, her dark eyes reflecting the stars beyond. As one of Earth's most decorated naval officers, she had been chosen to lead this historic mission. Beside her stood Dr. Aiden Chen, now the head of Earth's Xenotechnology Division, his excitement palpable as he ran final checks on the ship's systems. "All systems are green, Captain," Aiden reported, his fingers dancing across holographic displays. "We're ready to make history." Elena nodded, a small smile playing on her lips. "Indeed we are, Doctor. But let's not forget, history has its eyes on us." As if summoned by her words, a familiar dark form materialized on the bridge. Shade, the enigmatic being that had become synonymous with Earth's defense and advancement, stood silently, observing the crew's preparations. "Shade," Elena greeted, inclining her head respectfully. "I didn't expect to see you here." The being's voice echoed in their minds, a sound like whispers from the void. "This journey marks a pivotal moment for humanity. I wouldn't miss it." Before Elena could respond, a communication alert chimed. The main screen flickered to life, revealing the face of General Sarah Connor, now the head of Earth's Interstellar Defense Council. "Captain Rodriguez, Dr. Chen." Sarah greeted, her face showing the lines of years of struggle and recent triumphs. "I trust you're ready to carry the hopes and dreams of humanity to the stars." Elena straightened, her voice filled with determination. "We are, General. The horizon stands ready to begin our journey of exploration." Sarah nodded, a hint of pride in her eyes. "Remember your mission. We're not just exploring for the sake of curiosity, though that's certainly part of it. We're also looking for allies, for new homes for our expanding population, and for resources to fuel our growth." And Aiden added, his voice tinged with excitement, "We're hoping to unlock more secrets of the universe." The luminary databases hinted at phenomena beyond our current understanding. We aim to see them firsthand. Sarah's expression turned serious. "Just be careful out there. The galaxy is vast, and not everything you encounter will be friendly." The Zarkonians were just one of many potential threats. As if to underscore her point, Shade moved forward. its form seeming to ripple with barely contained energy. I have sensed disturbances in the fabric of space-time. There are forces at work in our galaxy that defy conventional understanding. Be vigilant. Elena felt a chill run down her spine, but she kept her voice steady. We will, Shade. And thank you for your guidance. With final words of encouragement from Sarah, the communication ended. Elena turned to her crew, seeing a mixture of excitement and nervousness on their faces. This was the moment they had trained for, the culmination of humanity's dreams of reaching the stars. All right, people, she said, her voice carrying across the bridge. Let's make Earth proud. Helm, initiate launch sequence. As the Horizon detached from its orbital dock, cheers erupted from cities across the globe. Humanity watched with bated breath as their first true starship prepared to venture into the unknown. In the ship's engine room, the new propulsion system hummed to life. Based on principles derived from Shade's ability to manipulate space-time, it would allow the Horizon to create localized wormholes, effectively sliding through space faster than light. Wormhole drive is online, Captain, Aiden reported, his voice filled with awe. Ready when you are. Elena took a deep breath, savoring the moment. Engage. The stars outside the viewport suddenly stretched into lines of light. For a brief moment, the ship seemed to exist in two places at once, and then, with a flash, they were gone. Light years away, the Horizon emerged from its artificial wormhole. The crew gasped in collective amazement. Before them stretched a vast nebula, its swirling colors painting the void in hues of purple, blue, and gold. My God, Aiden whispered, his scientific detachment momentarily forgotten. It's beautiful. Elena nodded, allowing herself a moment to marvel at the sight. Indeed it is, Doctor, but let's not forget why we're here. Begin full spectrum analysis. I want to know everything about this region of space. As the crew set about their tasks, Shade moved to stand beside Elena. Its form seemed to shimmer, as if resonating with the energies of the nebula. Captain, it said, its mental voice tinged with an emotion Elena couldn't quite place. There's something familiar about this place. Before Elena could inquire further, alarms blared across the bridge. Aiden's fingers flew across his console, his eyes widening in surprise. Captain, we're detecting multiple energy signatures. They're like nothing I've ever seen before. Elena's training kicked in. Origin. They seem to be coming from within the nebula itself, Aiden reported. And are moving. Fast. As if in response to his words, shapes began to emerge from the colorful gases of the nebula. They were vast, easily dwarfing the horizon. Their forms were difficult to comprehend, seemingly shifting between states of matter, at once solid and ethereal. My God, Aiden breathed. They're alive. Shade moved forward, its form expanding until it seemed to fill the bridge. When it spoke, its voice carried a weight Elena had never heard before. They are the ancients, Shade said, the first beings to achieve consciousness in our universe. They are the source of the disturbances I sensed. Elena's mind reeled. Shade, how do you know this? The being turned its gaze to her, those pinpricks of white light seeming to peer into her very soul. Because, Captain, in a way, I am one of them, or rather, a part of me is. As the crew tried to process this revelation, one of the vast entities approached the horizon. It didn't communicate in words, but suddenly, every mind on the ship was filled with images, concepts, emotions. They saw the birth of stars, the formation of galaxies. They witnessed the rise and fall of civilizations across billions of years. And they saw Earth, a tiny blue marble in the vast cosmic ocean, yet shining with potential. When the vision faded, Elena found herself on her knees, tears streaming down her face. Around her, the rest of the crew was in a similar state, overwhelmed by what they had experienced. Shade's voice, when it spoke, was gentle. The ancients have been waiting, watching. They saw in humanity a spark, a potential to bridge the gap between the physical and the metaphysical. My creation was a step towards that potential. Aiden, his scientific mind struggling to comprehend what he had seen, spoke up. But why? Why us? The answer came not from Shade, but from the ancient beings themselves. Their thoughts, now more focused, more understandable, filled the minds of the Horizon's crew. Balance, they conveyed. The universe seeks equilibrium. For too long, the forces of creation and destruction have been out of alignment. Humanity, with its capacity for both great compassion and terrible destruction, holds the key to restoring that balance. Elena stood, her legs shaky but her resolve firm. And what does that mean for us? For Earth? The response was both thrilling and terrifying. Images flashed through their minds of humanity spreading across the stars, not as conquerors, but as mediators, peacekeepers, innovators. They saw human ingenuity combined with the wisdom of ancient species, solving problems that had plagued the galaxy for eons. But they also saw challenges. Dark forces that sought to maintain the imbalance, entities that would see humanity as a threat to their power. As the visions faded, Elena turned to her crew. Their faces showed a mixture of awe, fear, and determination. She knew that what they had just experienced would change not just their lives, but the course of human history. Well, she said, her voice steady despite the enormity of what they had learned, it seems our mission of exploration has turned into something much bigger. Shade moved to stand beside her, its form seeming more solid, more present than ever before. Captain, humanity stands at a crossroads. The path ahead will not be easy, but it is necessary. The ancients offer guidance, but the journey is ours to make. Elena nodded, her mind already racing with the implications. They would need to return to Earth, to report what they had discovered. But more than that, they would need to prepare humanity for its new role in the cosmic order. As the Horizon prepared to return home, the ancient beings retreated back into the nebula. But their presence lingered, a promise and a challenge. Humanity had taken its first true steps into the galactic community, and the universe itself had taken notice. Back on Earth, the news of the Horizon's encounter spread like wildfire. Governments convened emergency sessions, scientists pored over the data transmitted back, and philosophers debated the implications of humanity's new place in the cosmos. In a secure facility beneath what was once New York, Sarah Connor stood before a group of world leaders. Beside her, Shade's form rippled with barely contained energy. "Ladies and gentlemen," Sarah began, her voice carrying the weight of their newfound knowledge. "We stand at the dawn of a new era. The ancients have given us a task, a purpose beyond our wildest dreams. But make no mistake, this is not a gift. It's a challenge, perhaps the greatest humanity has ever faced." As murmurs filled the room, Shade stepped forward. Its voice, now audible to all, silenced every whisper. "Humanity's hunt for survival has led you to this moment," it said. "You have faced extinction and emerged stronger. You have confronted cosmic horrors and stood your ground. Now, you must become more than you ever imagined." Sarah nodded, her expression a mixture of determination and hope. "We've been given a chance to shape the future of not just our world, but our entire galaxy. It won't be easy. There will be those who resist, both here on Earth and out among the stars. But I believe we're ready." As the meeting continued long into the night, plans were made, strategies devised. Earth would need to unite as never before, pooling its resources and putting aside old rivalries. The technology gifted by the luminary and scavenged from the Zarkonians would need to be fully integrated and improved upon. And through it all, Shade would stand as humanity's guide, a bridge between the physical realm and the vast, unknown powers that shaped the universe. As dawn broke over a planet on the brink of unimaginable change, Elena Rodriguez stood atop the rebuilt Statue of Liberty, Shade by her side. The sky above was no longer just a frontier to be explored, but a challenge to be met, a destiny to be fulfilled. "Ready for our next great adventure?" Elena asked, echoing words spoken years ago, at the start of a different journey. Shade's form seemed to expand, embracing the possibilities that lay before them. Always, Captain. The universe awaits, and humanity's true hunt is just beginning. And with that, Earth took its place as a beacon of hope and balance in a vast, wondrous, and dangerous cosmos. The story of humanity's rise from prey to cosmic mediator had only just begun, with chapters yet unwritten stretching out across the stars.